On this week's episode, we review The Crown, season 4.
4. The Queen's Gambit, Netflix miniseries.
Mm-hmm. And The Undoing from HBO Max.
And a lot of all the pop culture news. Alright, this is a tragic week. We have COVID.
Yeah.
And also, they took Baby Yoda. Yeah, the new episode of The Mandalorian named The
Tragedy.
The Tragedy.
Yeah.
It's on, so if you didn't see, go and watch it. Yeah, that's all we're gonna say. I already did give a big spoiler.
That was pretty big.
Yeah, talking about spoilers before we start, since you're gonna talk about a lot of shows. Spoiler alert.
Big spoiler.
Okay, so where are we gonna start?
Okay, well, let's just go in order here. We'll start with The Crown. So like you said, we've had COVID, which means we've been watching so much TV.
No.
So much. So we've caught up on some series. First of which being The Crown, season 4.
Yes, which is fairly new. It was like, what, a week, 2 weeks ago? So that one we got it like right after it was released and finished in a good time. Different than the other seasons. The Undoing, last episode was last week or this week. And finally, what was the other one? Queen's Gambit. Queen's Gambit was a little bit a while ago, but it's still in the realm of news.
Recent
it's still
stuff.
all over the news because, Netflix is making really good numbers and is putting Netflix in the top, and people are buying more chess, and people are like, oh, I want to play chess. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, including our 4-year-old.
Yes.
She keeps asking, and anyway, we'll get there. Okay, do you want to keep going with Queen's Gambit?
Yeah, let's start with Netflix Queen's Gambit.
So this is a series, what I hope is just a one-off, about it's based on a book that we haven't read, and it's about an orphan who turns out to be a chess prodigy, and her coming of age, and her rising in the chess world, and the pitfalls and challenges and obstacles she faces, and she faces in that she overcomes, more or less. And it's all set in the 50s and 60s, so there's that added bonus. That's the very short version.
Yeah, it's as you said, it's set in the 50s and 60s, and there's a great art direction work. The costumes, the sets, everything is really, really well done.
Yeah, it is. It is just beautiful to look at. And I would add to that, Anya, the lead, she did a great job with her mannerisms and her affect. Almost everything she would do looked like it was straight out of like an ad or a film or something from the time period. Things she would do with her hands, the way she would sit and move.
So you're saying that everything she moves and does is straight from an ad or a film from the 50s? So you mean unrealistic, or?
No, I mean not unrealistic, but like she looked and acted like someone from the time. I think she acted well.
Okay.
And that was something I think we got from this series. Like, this girl is a really good actress, and if we didn't know already that this was What's Her Bucket in New Mutants, it wouldn't have been obvious right off the bat.
Yeah,
I think she did a good job. She's one of the. So there's the art direction, great acting on her part, and then this really compelling story. It starts with tragedy. Her mother dies horribly in a car accident, and she's left unscratched, and ends up at this orphanage that's, like, they say they're Christian, but they also, like, give the kids tranquilizers, like pills, like sedatives, and...
There's a transvestite there. There's the guy, right?
Yeah, that was an odd thing. That one of the person who's in charge of the chapel, I don't remember his or her name, but dressed like a woman presented as a woman, but definitely sounded and looked like a man. So that was an interesting.
So maybe the character is a woman and is just an actor acting.
Maybe, or maybe that's one of those details from the book.
I guess. Yeah.
You know, that. Anyway, so this girl is the. She's there. She makes a friend, Jolene, and who kind of takes her under her wing and helps her survive. But she also. Very quickly, it's discovered that she's a bit of a genius at math, and so the teacher is always sending her to the basement to clean out the erasers because she finishes all her work very quickly. And it's there she discovers the janitor playing chess, and she's very interested in this.
Yeah, and then she starts playing chess with him, and her story, her life changes, and her relationship with chess and with drugs that go throughout the entire show, the entire life of the character in the show, starts in the orphanage years, and she I guess she takes advantage of both the drugs and the chess and used to go through life. I guess get a profession, a passion, something to move her, which I don't know.
Yeah. It was interesting. There were so many moments that were just so tragic. She's eventually adopted as a teenager, but the family who adopts her is like super dysfunctional. The husband is on the verge of leaving his wife, and he agrees to the adoption. Almost like it's for him. I feel like it's almost like buying his wife a dog. Like just giving his wife something to do super unhealthy. But it ends up being a really good. She and the mother end up having a really good relationship, although the mother is kind of an alcoholic and introduces her to alcohol. So on top of the tranquilizers, what she still manages to get, she's got the alcohol, and but this mother also supports her in chess, because after the orphanage she discovers that you can actually like make money doing chess, and you can play tournaments, and it can be like a whole life, and that's what she pursues. So there's this mix of like tragedy and opportunity going through the whole thing, and through the whole story. That she finds this mother who loves her, and it's a good relationship, but then there's also, it like compounds the addiction issues, and anyway, she makes other friends, other people who mentor her, but through it all there's like the two great obstacles. There's the drugs and the alcohol, which she goes back and forth from. And then there's this Soviet player, Borgov, and he's like the greatest in the world. Throughout the series, she faces him 3 times. And the first 2 times she loses, and it's like humiliating and crushing, but also really like transformative and defining moments for her. And then the series climaxes with her kind of conquering these 2 great things. She has good friends who finally help her leave behind the drugs and the booze. She gets control of her life after hitting rock bottom. And then after that, she's able to go to Moscow and play in like the World Championship or whatever they call it. And she faces Borgov one more time. This time she's clean and sober. She's got help and support from friends. And so her one last big thing to overcome is Borgov. And she beats him, and it's glorious. And so you go through all this like tragedy and everything, but she overcomes all of it and wins. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's the story. It was a great story.
It was really good. It wasn't as tragic as I was expected. I thought in some moments it would get like really, really dark and bad. But even in the moments they get bad, it turns out that she manages, even badly, she manages to get out of the situation and move on. From the death of her biological mother in the beginning and living in the orphanage to the very end, until she abandoned the drugs. But one interesting thing about this show that I liked, it was like the characters since the very beginning, she loses her biological mother, but she finds relationships, she finds family in the hearts of strangers, from Jolene, that she finds a sister in the orphanage, and the janitor, a father figure that trains her and helps her how to play chess, and then brothers among the nerds that play chess with her in the championships, and the mother on the adoptive mother, and that become really good friend. And I was concerned that she would exploit her, so I say, and it turns out that they talk, and even when they disagree, it's intelligent conversation, adult conversation, even though she's super young, and they manage to overcome the issues they have, and they found counsel on each other, and she finds family among these people, and her love life. It's other aspect that she finds love with this first adversary that was arrogant, and on the first guy she played, and she won, and then these other players, and in the end, all the characters get together to help her. Jolene shows up again. The guy from a newspaper who was one of the first that saw her playing comes back and help her. And for me, was the most interesting thing is how the characters helped her, even a little bit, even if it's just a guy that trained with her from her, let's call it, lovers, to a new mother. She didn't have a new father on the adoptive father, but she had a father figure on the custodian, janitor. And it's full circle, and it's a mini series, it's a Netflix limited series, as they call, and there's people claiming and pressuring for more, but
I don't think there's anything more to tell.
It's one book, it's one story. Is the journey of the hero, and she gets down deep into the depths of hell, and she gets out victorious, and in Russia of all places, and like Rocky IV. In the beginning, she's the enemy, and at the end, everybody's chanting her name. Yeah. Harmon. And it was good.
It was. I really enjoyed it. It was one I thought, like he said, I thought it was going to be a lot darker in a lot of places, but through it all, there was this. It was just a very human story, which is, I guess, a pretty cliche thing to say, but through all the darkness, there was hope and light and goodness, and
it's a great woman character, female lead character, and they don't play on the I want to say classic, but they're not classic, but even traditional, the usual common, the usual tropes, and no, it's very human, and she acts really well. The mother acts really well, and everybody does a terrific job.
It really was. Yeah, it's one of those great. Something that I always love to see. They've got a good story, but then they did an incredible job of telling it.
And even chess, which is the big thing, is secondary. You don't see much of chess being played. I mean, it's like there's one thing that they do a lot is she goes and starts the match, and then she's leaving. Yeah. They don't focus. They don't spend a lot of time, which it would be kind of boring.
It would. They show you enough.
Chess. They do show, but not enough. Like a lot there. They move on because otherwise they would lose audiences because nobody.
That wouldn't be terribly. And that's not what the story. It's not a chess movie. It's or series. It's not a chess show. It's a person show.
Yeah, it's about her and how chess and family lost and family found, and issues that family helped her overcome.
Yeah. This might be a weird thing to say, but the way you're describing it makes me think of Signs. That Shyamalan movie. Like how it's not actually an alien movie. It's a movie about like a family like healing and overcoming and reuniting. Yeah. It's kind of like this. It's not actually a chess show. It's about...
But it's always, it's like fiction. A good fiction is always metaphorical of something else. And
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
Queen's Gambit is on Netflix. Entire show available. Go check.
Yeah.
Okay. Staying on Netflix. Let's go through a little bit of
The Crown.
The Crown.
Yeah.
If one is totally fiction, is a book, it's a novel, and it's all from the mind of the author. He might be inspired by real characters, inspired by things in his life, but it's fiction. The Crown, theoretically, saw reality, even though the people in England, including
the British cultural minister,
including politicians, and Charles said something too.
Yeah,
they saying this is fiction. People that didn't live through might not know, or people that lived through might not remember. So consider this fiction.
Yeah, and that's a tricky thing about putting history on film and on screen like this in a drama. Like, you just inherently, even if you stick so close to actual events, you have to make up some stuff. Especially in this season, because most of this season is about the relationship between Charles and Diana. And a lot of what was happening behind closed doors. Like, there's no way we can know exactly what happened. They're having to make stuff up.
If it's hard to find out about what happened in real life, characters, I don't know, actors, sports people, singers.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with the royals, it's
that's a whole different ball game.
It's super tough to get information. Yeah. It's like third hand, fourth hand, fifth hand.
Yeah.
Information. So
even doing their best, they had to make stuff up, and so you have to take this thing with a grain of salt. I don't know that I would call it straight up fiction, but
there's facts, and there's facts. They if they play on the facts, they play right, and they do. Charles never actually loved her like he loved Camilla. And he married her, so apparent. The family would get off his back, so he could still have Camilla on the side.
Yeah.
And
but do his royal duty.
It's not like, for instance, I read in the news back in the day that it was a love story, and he was like Prince Charming, and then the love story ended, and he went back to Camilla. No, he never left Camilla.
Not really. No.
Yeah. And if anything, this season shows how it paints him really bad. It
did. The last couple seasons, like, my heart broke for him.
Yeah.
But in this season, I'm like, nope, you're annoying and you're a twerp.
Yeah. No, he's selfish, and he's... Yeah. I guess selfish would be the word, because... Yeah, especially what he did to this girl, this young girl that he goes, young. Okay, let's marry, and then he blames the family, say, my family loved you, not me, and stuff like that.
That's something that really bugged me about his character this time. Like, just at some point, I get that. I mean, his upbringing must have been so difficult, and I get that he's in kind of an impossible situation. But at some point, you need to, like, get a backbone and commit to one thing or another. Like, either commit to being the future king and that life, or do what his uncle did, or his great uncle, I guess, and abdicate and walk away to live whatever life he wants to live with Camilla.
Yeah.
I think I would have a lot more patience and respect for him as presented in The Crown. If he would, like, commit one way or another. But this whole, like, back and forth, like, pick one. Because, I mean, you're grown up. You're accountable. You can't blame everything on your family.
But maybe
you can blame a lot on your family, but not everything.
Maybe that's what they committed to the family and studied the old books of the family and realized that his grandpa did that, his great grandpa did that. They all had concubines, and like, okay, I'm just doing
like mistresses.
Huh?
Mistress.
What's the difference?
I think a concubine is a more formal.
A more formal?
I don't know.
How formal? It's like you bring.
I don't know. I just feel like anytime I've read about kings having.
Secret.
Mistress is the word I've always heard used.
Yeah.
Anyway, either way, they had a lady on the side.
Yeah. So, but that's it. There's some other great things on this season. Margaret Thatcher. She's portrayed really well by Gillian Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
And with her, there's like historical elements. The Falklands Islands war with Argentina, and what else?
The beginning of apartheid and this big clash between, or this apparent clash between Buckingham Palace and Downing Street.
Mm-hmm.
Over that.
The IRA.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so historical elements and the whole royal family drama.
One thing I didn't know, most of this like I'd heard of before, at least in passing, one thing I didn't know was the big secret that Margaret discovered, that she had cousins who had been born with just all kinds of different, physical and mental problems, and had been, their family faked the death and then hid them away in this institution. So they were like royal family members that were just like, everybody pretended they didn't exist until they were sort of forgotten. Everyone thought they were dead. And that was, I had no idea about that.
I had no idea
that was pretty shocking.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, like the bad guy, there's always a worse guy. Like in the beginning was Philip. And now Philip is just hanging and just laughing about those situations.
He does. He seems like a contented spectator now.
Yeah, and Charles is the bad guy. And who knows, maybe his kids will be the bad guy. We'll see. Who knows?
I don't know.
There's time and things to happen.
Yeah, I wonder how far they're going to go. Because they're getting, like, William and Harry, by the end of this season, both William and Harry had been born. So, like, we're getting pretty close to current events.
But next season, for sure, will be Diana's death and
that's a lot.
Tony Blair, and I wonder if they're going to skip Major and everything in between that. Anyways, The Crown, season 4, it's on Netflix. The entire show, all 4 seasons there. Yeah.
Cool. All right, and finally we come to HBO Max's spectacular miniseries, The Undoing.
Yes, Nicole Kidman, Hugh Grant, Donald Sutherland, Lily Rabe, and I guess those are the biggest names.
I think so.
Yeah.
But this was an interesting story. And it kept me pretty well on the edge of my seat the whole
I confess, the first time I saw it, the post was like,
Yeah?
It didn't, like, Hugh Grant and Nicole Kidman, But someone was saying this, it's really good. It's like, okay, if you have the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read on the news that the last episode brought like a lot of viewers, the most viewers since the Big Little Liars finale, the revelation of the murderer, who done it, So okay, let's see, maybe it's interesting. It's really good. It's really interesting. The plot twist at the end, I confess I was like overthinking, because I thought it would be really like,
I know, me too. But I feel like the overthinking almost made the show better.
Yeah, it was enjoyable to try to decipher the whole thing, but it's exactly as it looks like. We are still under spoiler alert, but it's exactly it ends exactly as it starts. So the guy they suspect that the guy did it, and the guy did it.
Yeah.
The show is based on a book named you should have known. And is basically it, because the wife,
Nicole Kidman.
So the main plot is this lady dies, and she in the family that have their kids that goes to the same school, so they are on the same social group. They become suspects.
Yeah.
And the husband of the family become big suspect because why? Because he'd
been having an affair with her, so the crime scene was just lousy with his DNA.
Yes.
and some very suspicious things had happened. So it starts off, we see this apparently just idyllic, very happy, well-off family. They live in a lovely apartment near Central Park. Their kid goes to a private school. He's a pediatric oncologist. She's a successful psychologist, clinical psychologist, and just everything's great. And she does like fundraisers for the kids' school, and just wonderful. And then this murder happens, and like everything starts to unravel for them.
Yeah, so the book is called You Should Not Know, because she's a well-known psychologist, a Harvard PhD psychologist, and on the first chapter she devours the relationship of a couple that goes to see her. She gets elements. She basically find out that one is cheating on the other one and make the one confess, just by talking to them. So she's really good at what she does.
Yeah.
But she was not able to realize that her husband was cheating on her, and she was not able to realize that her husband did not feel empathy for anyone, did not feel regret or remorse for anyone. He was a sociopath since ever. So you should have known. She was skilled.
Yeah.
And qualified to know, but she didn't. And that's the interesting part of the journey.
Yeah. I'm glad they changed the title, because I think that title combined with the first episode, it would have been so obvious. But by changing the title, I wasn't really looking for him to be like a psychopath or anything. So they kind of took us for a full circle. Like, that first episode when the murder first happens is like, oh, well, obviously the dad did it. But then throughout the rest, like the next few episodes, you kind of come full circle. Like, wait a second, maybe he didn't. Maybe he really is innocent the way he insists. And then we start to see that, like, wait a second, he's actually a psychopath. We come to this realization with her. And then you're right back there like, oh, wow, it actually was him. So I thought it was an interesting way to tell the story. They kind of showed us right away who it was, but we didn't understand why or how it happened, because he was just this sweet... I mean, it's Hugh Grant. He's just sort of like bumbling, erudite, goofy, funny British dad. And so they had to show us, like, how he actually wasn't.
Actually, I think Hugh Grant was really well cast, because... for me, and I'm pretty sure for most of the audiences, he is that sleazy ball that was got with the prostitute, and I think so. I don't think he's the what's it called, Notting Hill guy, or the Love Actually guy. I think that was.
Those have been like his roles. Like,
yes,
like when we see him on screen.
Yes. But since the incident with something Brown, I can't remember the name of the girl. He's one of guys in Hollywood that, when he's cast to be something like this, it's like, and it was.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and he definitely, very quickly, it became apparent that this guy had a really interesting arc. You know how, like, Queen's Gambit, there's this incredible arc of, like, her overcoming everything and rising in triumph and this hero's journey. This was, like, the opposite. We're like, oh, what a nice guy. He cures kids from cancer. And they're like, oh, man. Yeah. Oh, he's a creep. Like, oh, no, just right off the deep end.
And it was so the whole it was so deep that the whole affair that he had with the married woman, she was also married. They had a baby together.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was going on for a long time.
Oh, and the selfishness of this guy, like he. Oh, anyway, you just gotta watch it. I feel like it was worth watching.
It was.
It was well made, well acted.
And it's good because it's short, so it's they could do a longer season. They could do, but no, they did short and sweet, straight to the point. Everybody, it's impeccable from Nicole Kidman to the detective to the lawyers and Donald Sutherland.
He's always great.
He's like
man has
firm
range.
to the point that sometimes you think he is the bad guy.
I really did. There's one whole episode where like, oh man. Because we see the other side. We see, and I mean, part of this is just the actor. Like, he's goofy. I don't know if you've seen, what's it called? Kelly's Heroes, where he's this like total like drugged out hippie tank commander. So funny. And then you've got like Hunger Games, where he's President Snow, just like cold villain, deadly, evil incarnate. And anyway, here we the guy's got range, and there was a whole episode of like, oh yeah, he did it. Nope.
So, The Undoing is on HBO Max. The miniseries, 6 episodes. They all there for you to watch.
Yes.
Let's go through some news.
Okay, Wonder Woman 1984. We've already talked about how it's going to be released on HBO Max.
Yes.
But it's going to be their first 4K film.
Yes, the first 4K film on the platform, and it will be the first of many. That's just the start.
Yeah, that was the thing they said about like their 2021 roster list slate, whatever. They're gonna be releasing a bunch of movies like this.
Yeah, Warner Brothers 2021 catalog. So every movie that's gonna be released at the movie theaters gonna be released on the same day on HBO Max. It's gonna stay on HBO Max for a month, and then gonna stay on the theaters longer, following the traditional window. But yeah, that's really bold, different, new, exciting, and controversial.
Yeah,
movie theaters chains, including AMC.
Well, yeah, they're not thrilled. I mean, this is kind of threatening for them,
especially these days. They have to deal with COVID, so they are on the brink of disappearing, and then comes this, and
and you know what, however much a month it is to stream HBO Max, it's way less than a movie ticket.
Yes.
Or 2 or 6, whatever.
And if you subscribe, you're already paying it. It's not like you're gonna have to get money that was not planned. That money is already paid. So.
Right. On top of that, COVID is gonna be around for a while longer, and so you don't have to, risk it. You can stay safe at home and watch these new movies. Yeah. And it's probably good for the studios. I mean, the studios can still make and release their new movies. It's just not good for the movie theaters.
Yeah, it's a way. Yeah. Since the movies are made already, some of them.
Well, some of them. But, so it might keep some more people employed, like in Hollywood, but in movie theater chains, it's probably not great for them.
Yeah. So AMC is worried about disappearing, but the Warner, it's like, hey, maybe you guys gonna disappear anyway, so we're ready for that. Yeah. I don't know. Some big movies: The Matrix 4, Dune, Godzilla vs. Kong.
I forgot
what else?
About that.
The new Space Jam. Like anyone cares about that one?
Great cinema.
But yeah, there's some big ones. I can't remember. There's another big one. Where is it?
I don't know. I don't have them on my list.
I posted on our Instagram page.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad.
That's the other big one.
Mortal Kombat, the reboot, and among other, there's like a bunch of others. 21 movies.
Yeah.
At least.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
yeah, if you have HBO Max gonna, only getting better. And Snyder announced that Justice League might come in the beginning of the year, so not gonna have to wait.
One can only hope.
A lot. He actually posted about Justice League. He posted the picture of a movie theater screen where they are watching the full final complete version of Justice League Snyder Cut. But yeah, HBO Max it's coming for blood, and Netflix better watch out.
Yeah, they should. HBO has some incredible content. And it looks like they're going to get new stuff because Charlize Theron and her production company have signed a first look. Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
A first look deal?
Yeah.
So she'll be doing more with them.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just watched, what was it, Bombshell? The other day, where she plays Megyn Kelly. And just every time I see her, it's like, dang, this woman is good.
Yeah.
She can act.
Yeah. She's not just a pretty face.
Mm-mm.
And fun fact, she won her Oscar for a movie that she's completely deformed.
That's right. Was that Monster?
Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Cool. More movie news?
What do you mean? What movie news?
Go
through it.
Okay. Peter Dinklage, it looks like, is going to be take the lead in a Toxic Avenger reboot.
The horror code independent phenomenon. Very few people, a lot of people saw it, but it's not mainstream at all.
Yeah.
And I guess it's going to become mainstream with Dinklage involved. We'll see.
It doesn't really seem like my cup of tea, but I'm a big Peter Dinklage fan.
Yeah.
He's another one, just anything he does, he's very good at. The Mandalorian, we touched on that earlier, is incredible. And it's so good, in fact, that it has cracked the Nielsen top 10 ratings.
Yeah, Disney finally made it. Netflix did it. Amazon did it. HBO Max did it. But Disney, it was still... But they finally made it to the list, top 10. And with The Mandalorian, of all things, of course.
Yeah, it deserves it.
Yeah.
Though, that show is just, it's so solid. So solid. And those delightful little macaron that Baby Yoda stole from Grogu stole from the kid in school. I guess you can buy those.
Yes. Williams and Home is selling those.
They sell a bunch of other Star Wars related cooking gear.
I didn't know.
Yeah, really great little like cookie cutters and aprons and spatulas and things like that.
Okay.
So it's not a first, but I've been meaning to try out macaron. So maybe I'll make them at Toxic Blue Colored. Oh no, I've eaten them. I mean making them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a challenging bake, but it's one I want to try. So maybe I'll make them that fun blue color. What else is going on?
So this past week, monolith was found in the desert here in Utah, and some people they found it. This helicopter crew found it, and nobody knows who put it there, and it disappeared mysteriously a couple of days later.
Yep.
Same or very similar monolith appeared in Germany. Was that Germany?
I thought it was Romania. Germany, I don't know, over yonder.
Sure, but in Europe. Same thing, appeared, boof, disappeared. And one did in California. So, PR stunt, eco-terrorists, eco-saviors, I don't know, corona anti-vaxxers, or, I don't know, transmutant gender pirates from San Francisco, I don't know.
We'll see. I do feel compelled to point out that it is not technically a monolith, for it was constructed of several different pieces of stainless steel. Yes.
How do you know?
Because I listened to the NPR article about it, and they were very careful to point out.
They went there to analyze it?
Yeah, a bunch of people, they checked it out.
Multiple pieces. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, I think...
if it's on NPR, it's true, right?
Yes. Anyways...
Okay.
What else is going on? Discovery starting a new streaming service.
Yes, late in the game, but they want to try.
Yeah, who's gonna? Do you think they have an audience? Do they have enough of their own original, unique programming?
I mean, the future of streaming could be bundling.
Yeah.
They could bundle a couple streaming services, just like cable used to do bundles of channels.
Sure.
They could go for that.
Yeah.
Bundle with Disney. Disney has Nat Geo, right?
They do.
Yeah, so I guess it's
which
not
makes
Disney.
a whole lot more sense to me.
It would bundle with a different company. I don't know. Yeah.
But oh well. And History Channel is losing Vikings.
For the final season.
It should be History
For
Channel.
the final season, it's for the last half of final season, so 10 episodes. They're gonna be released on Amazon. The rest of the show, the 4.5 seasons, and so going to Amazon, and yeah.
Okay. Coolio. Superstore is ending.
No surprise. The main star, America Ferrera, left, and it was announced she would leave in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And the show is not able to keep going. They already announced that this is the last season. It will not be able to survive without the main star for not even a season, because she left this season,
Yeah.
Like on The Office, when Steve Carell left, they survived two or three seasons.
I think it was 2.
2 seasons. When Michael J. Fox left Spin City, they cast Charlie Sheen, and they survived 2 more seasons. The 2.5 Men, when Charlie Sheen left, they had what's his name? Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, Ashton Kutcher.
And they survived more, so
it
will not be that for the Superstore.
No.
Yeah, they're gonna close stores after the end of this season. So yeah.
Yeah. Her moving on made sense for the character. I'm really happy for the character. But none of the other supporting characters, I think, were strong enough to carry on the show.
Especially there's one character that's extremely dependent on her character. All the time they talk about her. I don't know. They might find a new love interest for him. But
what he needs to do is get his butt together and go back to school and get a better job.
Yeah, well.
Just saying.
Well, the show's gonna end, so he's gonna have to find another job.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. So, good luck and best wishes.
He's one of those HBO, sweethearts. He's always on any.
That's true. He comes up a lot
in HBO shows. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Over to Apple Plus. Thank you. Juliana
Margulies.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's gonna be from Good Wife, back in the day from ER.
Yeah.
She's gonna be on
the morning show.
Is that called?
Yeah.
The morning show. She's gonna be one anchor. So let's see if she's gonna be one cutthroat woman, just like Jennifer Aniston's characters, close to be. Maybe she's gonna be that one, or she's gonna be a really nice guy. Who knows?
I don't know. We'll see.
It's morning show. It's morning television. So she most likely is gonna be this cutthroat. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. But I really enjoyed the first season.
Yeah.
I thought it was well done.
The behind the scenes of those shows is we saw some on the Bombshell and how
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. And finally, we got some good news today. Some exciting news.
Metal Gear Solid, that was being worked and produced for a while now, announced that Oscar Isaac's gonna be Snake Solid. Snake! It's pretty exciting. He's a really good actor, and I think he's gonna be good. Hopefully gonna be good.
I think so. I think he can do the whole brooding.
And since Kojima is involved,
that was my next question. Is he involved?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Since he's involved, hopefully it will be the video game movie to change history
Video game movies.
of video game movies. You know, like comic book movies were like ridiculous, and they were like even the best one was like yeah, and then they become a trend, they become a thing, they become a new genre. This new Metal Gear Solid could be the one that will make video game movies become a genre. Since the narrative universe of video games are in many ways superior than movies these days. So yeah, Snake. I'm excited.
No, he's perfect.
Anything else?
For the role. Oh, I think we've covered everything and more.
Okay, I guess that's it. We see you next week with more.
Mm-hmm.
May the force be with you.
Live long and prosper.
Bye.
Bye.